Hi, I'm Trina, a self-deprecating, low-life Malaysian actor trying to find the meaning of success. I decided to get out of bed and do what I love doing. Ask a damn lot of questions and find some answers. Well, sort of. Join me on the actor's journey. Hi, I'm Trina, and I am an actor, and I'm trying to figure out acting, even though I've been doing this for so long. Well, not my whole life, but yes. And today, I'm super professional. So welcome to my second episode, and today we have the great Leysha!
Hello, everybody.
Did you want me to say your full name?
No, it's fine. Like, you can say SHARIFAH ALEYSha, you can say Leysha. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah.
I say Leish.
Yeah.
So wait. Okay, so Leysha, what do you
Only a few people can call me that, by the way. Like,
yeah, no one can.
Yeah.
You're out of the picture right now. Random person.
Not a lot of people can say that. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you just give us a little bit of intro, although I don't think you need an intro, but yeah, just in case.
No, definitely need an intro. My name is SHARIFAH ALEYSha. I am a film and theatre maker, but I also act. I've been acting since I was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And I've acted with like directors like Shaimi Baba and Yasmin, Ahmad, and I don't know, I've done film, I've done TV. Yeah, and I'm still doing TV, and currently I'm on a show called Keluarga Baha Don.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's so funny. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I get to see behind the scenes.
Yes. So, yeah. Trina helps me out a lot.
Yeah. But, yeah. I didn't want to go there.
You can't say too much. Yeah.
I'm so good at transitions. So, okay, let me go into it. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about film versus theatre. Mainly, I kind of want to go into it from an acting point of view mainly, but also if we walk into the whole maker aspect of it, which I think is a big part of the process as well, we can go straight into it as well. Yeah. There's freedom in our conversations. Okay, so let me find my questions. It's still recording? Yes, it's still recording. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so in your opinion, what's the difference between theatre and film acting? Like the great definition.
I think like the biggest difference for me, or like at least what I have experienced and like seen in Malaysia, like in our industry, is time.
Time?
Time.
What do you mean? That's so new to me. I would never thought of that.
It's like because like with theatre, you take a lot of time. You know, people spend a lot of time. Like as an actor, you're allowed to take 3 months to get to know the character and to understand the character, and then like. Yeah. You spend a lot of time, even before the show, you come in like hours before the show and you're like getting into it. You know, you're given a space to pakai makeup and really like zone in and you're zen, you know. But film, you quite literally get the job, go on set next week, and like when you're on set, if you're lucky, the people you're working with are very professional. Like Keluarga Baha Don, they're very professional, so I get the script beforehand. And I can at least read the script, and we do have like script reads before the actual shoot, so I get to know a little bit more about the character that season or like whatever before I get on set. But like once you're on set, it's like straight away pakai makeup, pakai baju on set. Like you have to know your lines, you have to know, like you need to be able to hafal your lines quickly. And then you need to, like, any changes, you have to also know, like, the movements you have to do. So it's like, it's a lot of, it's just the difference in time, I feel. And, like, film is a lot of repetition. Yeah, like, theatre is, like, you know, the minute changes. There's so many things that you can do, like, you can change.
Yeah.
Like, macam one show and the next show, the only person who knows what the difference is you.
Yeah, it is.
Not so much. Even the director can't like pinpoint it, you know. But like
director tends to even forget sometimes walking into the rehearsals.
Exactly. So it's very much. It's so like minute that you're the only one who notices it. But on set, because the the camera only gets smaller and smaller. Like it gets closer and closer. So everybody knows the difference. And like you need to be able to repeat the same movements, like from one shot to another shot.
Yeah.
So it's like you not only have to hafal your lines, you have to hafal exactly what movement you made.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
was new to me.
Yeah.
When I was like, what is Conti?
Exactly.
Conti. I was like, what are you talking about? And then it
Exactly.
was so weird for me because like when, you know, like you said, like on stage every night is a different night and you do different things and you're allowed to do different things because no one will know. But it was so like such a new concept to me when I had to literally remember how I picked up an item
Exactly.
so that the camera caught it the right way. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is how? And then like, how do you even like, I think my question from there, like, how do you even like stay true to the character, you know? Like, like how do you stay present with it and all that kind of stuff? Like, do you have a specific way?
I mean, I try to like, luckily like with my characters usually, the characters I usually play are very like chilled, they don't move too much, you know? So and because I know this, like I know how much it takes to remember these things. And because your body is like, as an actor, as a performer, your body wants to do what it wants to do.
Yeah.
So if you suddenly like macam ikut, as they say like ikut angin sangat, your body's going to forget everything, right? So it's like, I have to be able, so I try my very best, the first take, I tak ikut angin sangat. So that I don't have to like remember all these movements along with my lines, along with like waiting for the cues of other people around me, you know? So it's like rather than doing too much, like, okay, dial it down. Then like if when they want to close up or whatever and the director goes like, okay, we're going to break Conti. I want you to do this. Then I'll do it.
I've never heard a director say that to me.
Yeah, but it just depends, you know?
Okay.
It depends on the because like in theatre, but that's the difference for me. I came from film, so I learned the repetition part. And I thought that was normal. And I went into theatre, so I kept doing, so my training was that you do the same thing over and over again, right? So every time I would do a scene, I would do the exact same movements. Like open the door with the right hand, open the door with the right hand. And my lecturer was like, kenapa you like tak buat benda lain? Like why you so very like ikut? Why you care so much about what you're doing rather than like how you're doing it or like who you are? Like, you know, very very deep questions. Like why is your character doing that? Why do they open the door with the right hand?
What is its intention?
What is its intention? And I was just like, oh, I just thought you do the same thing. You know, so it's like the difference.
Okay.
So
yeah. No, yeah. I always like find it interesting, like when people say like, I've always gotten this the other way around, more of like when people go like, oh, you're too theatrical for film. And I was like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that is like a huge difference? Like, is it common like for people to think that, is theatre acting very like, you know what I mean? Like, compared to film, like, do you think that is a huge difference? Because I've seen a middle ground of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge difference. I just think there needs to be a balance to it, you know? It's like, but because I have seen like, and I've been that person who was like film, because I started acting in film, and then when I went to theatre, people were like, you're so small, like we can't see you. And I didn't understand what that meant. And like my voice, I had never learned how to, like I always knew how to project my voice, but on stage, I was timid. I didn't know because I was like...
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay,
yeah, because like, I had been trained, don't project your voice.
Okay,
you know, because
yes.
the mic's here. So you can't, if you project your voice, the sound guy's going to like throw his headphones off. But I think it's also like, but I've also seen theatre people who have gone into film and like, you know, we don't realize it when, like, they don't realize it, but like, when you start acting, when you have eyes on you, your body kind of goes into like instinct mode or like survival mode. So you go into like the training that you have behind you. So if you're a theatre actor first, or like let's say you've done theatre acting for like 10 years and then suddenly you go into film, you forget all your conti. Two, you are and this is something I've noticed, is that you don't realize how close the camera is to you.
Yes.
you know. So so these facials.
It's like a thing. Like
Yeah.
I've never, like on stage, I've never gave a shit about my face because I was trained to not give a shit about it.
Yeah.
The uglier it is, the better it is, you know.
Exactly.
And then you come on film, you're like, yeah, you gotta question what ugly means to you.
Exactly. That's
just
why.
like,
No, so and then it's also the projection, right?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to reach the person
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah.
But in film, it's like no. You got your mic already. Like
Yeah.
so like you gotta breathe in. So and also there are certain things like like your body becomes more structured with theatre because you are trying to show people, because from far people need to be able to see how you what certain stance is, right? Like they can't tell if your body's sad or happy or angry from far.
No,
like
and
these minute changes that happen within ourselves as humans is very easy to see on screen. It's not as easy to see on stage.
how do you go back and forth from like, I guess it's reflex, but is there a specific thing that you actually do, realizing, oh, you're not on stage right now, so you don't need to be this big person, like, and then you go into film, you're like, oh, I guess I'm back to here, you know, like, kind of like, how is there something that you do to kind of like trigger it, or like, it's just like you're aware, you know, the space kind of creates it?
I think it's that awareness. I think that at first it was really hard for me going back and forth, but something about doing it over and over again, going both, it just like the sense of awareness, sense of space and awareness is really something that I do. That's why it's like on set, what I like to do is I'll go in to the set before I'm even needed. Like, so I know my scene is up next, but like I'll try to go in before they if I tak kacau orang lah. But I'll try to go in just to look at the set. Just to see like, okay, space is tiny as hell. You know, because
Get used to the environment.
Get used to the space is tiny as hell. Like we're gonna be really cramped in. And then also it's like I'll look at like the script, like okay, so it's just me and this one other person. If it's for film, because theatre is like, one thing about theatre that I really enjoy though is that you have rehearsed it over and over again. But it's also the same thing, like every day before a show, like I'll go in and I'll just be in the space. Just so I can see the edge of the stage, you know, or the edge of the audience. And I'll be like, okay, that's my point. Or like the tech people if they're behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done the whole like back and forth thing where you go from theatre to film, like back to back? Like one day you were shooting and then the next day you're going into rehearsal space, or vice versa?
Not exactly like shooting, but I did do the theatre show To Which My Brother Laughed. So I was doing To Which My Brother Laughed, and then like from To Which My Brother Laughed, I was spotted. So they asked me to go audition for the shoot. So almost like right after To Which My Brother Laughed, the last day, 2 days later, I went for an audition for the shoot, and I hadn't done film or shooting like macam TV in so long. So I was like, oh. And I had just done theatre, right?
Yeah.
So it took me a while, like, so, but because audition, luckily, is like audition, they tend to make it more open. So I was lucky in the sense yang macam, it was kind of like theatre, but I just dialed it down ever so slightly. Like, I just remembered that, like, okay, this one, my face doesn't need to be too much.
Oh, it's okay. I need to remember that. I tend to forget that. I'm always like, ugh. Yeah. I had the shock of my life when I had to do like a slow-mo picture of me, like looking a certain way, like I'm supposed to be disgusted. So I went all out. And like looking at a slow-mo photo of that, I was like, yo, okay, I gotta dial it down. And,
exactly.
And I'm not a big fan of watching myself act.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, do you like, I don't know.
Oh, no, I hate it.
Is there something in theatre in general, like the whole thing actually, besides being chill and everything, like a specific skill, whatever, that we can learn from film, and vice versa?
I think like what theatre can learn from film is maybe like the I don't know. I really think it's the chill, but not so much the chill also, because film can be really hectic and stressful. So sometimes I feel like theatre is very chill. So I think like theatre people or like theatre, like our, at least here, I feel like theatre can be a bit more hands-on, like
Okay.
hands-on and a bit more, I don't know, like go-getter, you know?
Okay. Yeah. If it feels like we're a bit on the complacent side of certain
Yeah.
things, like
Yeah.
in what we want to achieve and all.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
of course, like, albeit it's a bit harder, but like, you know, in film, it's like, it's much more common to see like a bunch of kids get together and make a bunch of films than it is to see
A
a
bunch of kids just go out and like make theatre.
theatre. Yeah.
Like we can even do theatre in the park. And like
Exactly.
no one should say anything.
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
think it's like,
Yeah.
there's more freedom to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think maybe like, it would be nice if theatre wasn't so held down
Yeah.
by its older rules or older laws. I think like film is allowed to, like just by its nature, is allowed to like
Be out and play.
evolve.
Yeah.
So I think like theatre,
Has not evolved in
yeah,
a way.
like not really. It's just taking a bit longer, maybe.
And I can't help but feel it's because we're so used to being indoors with the aircon.
Yeah.
Because I feel you don't always get air conditioning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one thing. Also, I really think that, especially in our industry, one thing that our theatre could do, that the film does, is tell our own stories, lah. You know, like let's be done with the Shakespeares and the I don't know, and the Godots and the, you know, and the Ibsens. Like, let's do our
And
own.
the Chekhovs.
Yeah, and the Chekhovs.
We
Like,
haven't even reached Chekhov. We only barely reached Chekhov.
I feel like we reached Chekhov, but nobody liked Chekhov, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we're not doing that again. We're not doing that anymore."
That was me.
You know?
I can only handle so much Chekhov.
Exactly, same. But that's why I was like, why don't we do our own stuff? I feel
Yeah.
like it's about time we did our own stuff.
Which is so weird and funny because I feel like, I mean, we did in a way. Like I would say back in the 90s, we had more people who were like trying to make our own thing, like our own voices, like, you know, and have our own Chekhovs and like do. But I feel like, yeah, now it's just like, you know, you're not gonna, there's no such thing as a, no one goes like, oh, are you gonna do a Leysha play? You know, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
nobody
Like,
goes like, are you gonna do a poetin?
Yeah,
Are you
you
gonna do
know.
a Christian jit?
yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
Christian jit. Like KS Manium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like, yeah, like even like Jimmy Ryan. And it would be refreshing to just hear like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, you're going to do one of our peoples.
Yeah, but even that, like, not just one of our peoples, but like, just new stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
But why do you think we struggle to create that space for ourselves?
I think there's a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of, you know, because theatre is very much older people giving younger people chances. And I think the older people just need to be able to like let go of the reins a little bit.
I'm just like, what is it you want to do?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know?
That's
And there are some of them, but they're the minority, you know?
Is there anything that you think that that's from theatre that like film as a whole can kind of figure out and
I think just the sheer passion. I mean, but film people are passionate.
it's just a different passion. It's like very
Yeah, it's just insane passion when it comes to theatre. Like, at least from what I've seen. Like, because theatre people can talk about, well, actually film people can talk about acting for days and everything, you know? I don't know. I
really.
think-
I always feel like film people talk more about cinematography.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I've experienced.
I mean, like, film actors talk about acting, lah.
Okay, okay, okay.
So, but I don't know, what can, like, maybe theatre... I think maybe with theatre it's more like space. You know, how we give each other space.
Yeah,
There's time for space.
yeah.
But like, because in film, like, everything is like pop, 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 pop. You know, like, have to do it quick. You know, and but it's so important to be able to give someone space just to like, okay, breathe in. You know,
Yes,
this is a
yes.
very emotional scene.
Uh-uh.
Here's some space so you can get ready for it and everything. I think that's something that would highly benefit. And like, especially in our industry, I just want all all TV and film shows to be able to do rehearsals.
Yes.
Yes.
I beg you. I
Yeah.
beg, like, you know, a good like month rehearsal or something.
Yeah,
like you don't need the longest one. And I get it because like budget and timing is always an
Yeah.
issue. But like just like be a rebel just a little bit and like give us like a little bit of rehearsal because it's like yeah I think I've only had once an experience where we didn't have rehearsal and the guy was like, can you cry? And I was like, oh, it's gonna take some time and I don't even know who I'm really crying for. Like I actually don't fully know my character. I just know this is the name. I don't even know who she is, what she experienced. The most is a single moment, but I don't know how, like, what type of person was she to even react a certain way, you know, like throw out those impulses and all that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, space makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like this emotional space, physical space, just give us a bit more space. But also like rehearsals, because people don't realize that rehearsals help the actor a lot, but they also don't realize that it also helps the atmosphere on set a lot. Because your first day on set is not actually your first day with this whole entire crew. And you don't need to have the whole entire crew be there for rehearsals, even though that would be great.
Yeah.
But you could have the head of departments be there for rehearsals. So at least your actor knows who they're working with. Because when you're on set, 5 billion people are talking to you at once.
Yes.
You know? And you're like, oh, okay, who are you? Like, we weren't properly introduced.
Yeah.
But you're gonna...
I know.
You know, but you're gonna touch me, like put the mic on me, and then you're gonna put the props near my head, and then you're gonna move this set that I'm sitting on. You know, it's like just to be able to get to know these people before you start work. So then also it takes out the whole awkwardness. So you get on set and you're like, okay, cool. Like, you know, at least I can say these things. At least I know you now. You know?
It's so funny you mentioned that because the times when, you know, like the guy's like, okay, I'm going to get you mic'd. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, I'm like...
I just made...
Yeah.
Who was the other guy? You know? And then like, he's like, are you okay with this? I'm like, who? Yeah, I am, but in you, are you okay with... And then like when they mic you sometimes and it takes time, like the positioning of things, right? And then you're just like, should I make conversation? Because I don't really know this person. Yeah. And the silence is weird. You know, that kind of stuff.
And that's exactly what theatre is, right? It's the camaraderie, because you spend so much time together.
Yeah.
And like once you're doing the shows, you know what this person eats for lunch and for dinner every day.
Yeah.
You know what they like. You know what they don't like. You just end up knowing the people you work with.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely thing to have. But with film, it's like sometimes, especially if you're doing like 1 week shoots or like 3-day shoots, you just go in, you're like, oh, who are you? Okay, bye. Who are you? Okay, bye. You know? But that's why like with Keluarga Baha Don, I feel very lucky and like so thankful, because not only is it like a great show, great character, but it's a family, you know? Like when I go on set, I know everybody's names, everybody knows my name, and like, you know, because once you get to know someone, you start to respect that someone.
Yes,
right? So nobody's rude, nobody's trying to take advantage of you, nobody's doing weird like old grandpa jokes. You know, old pervy jokes, you know, like
especially the pervy jokes, because you're just like, I need to gain a certain level of trust for you to be at that level. Where you can do pervy jokes with me. If not, you're just purely a creeper.
Yeah. Like,
and all you want is, I'm always going to think you want bad things from me, you know? Yeah.
Look, that's why. It's like, I feel like that's something that would be like so nice to have on sets. Like just to be able to create more family and more like emotional connections to the people you work with, because at least for me, I can't cry on cue, and like I'm very emotionally guarded, so it's really hard for me to like just like you know, I don't open up. Like I'm very warm and I'm very open, but it's like emotionally open. So it takes so long. So it's like for people to want me to trust them and to like them, I'm like like I'm nice, I'm warm, but
did I earn your trust for you to earn mine?
Exactly. Like, oh my, like, why do you trust me so much? Like, you don't know me, you know?
I didn't give you anything. No, I guess. Well, I guess for the last question for me would be, where do you feel more at home?
Where do I feel more at home? I really don't know.
No, you know, you're in the middle.
I because you gave the questions earlier, right? And I was really thinking about it. I was good at one point. I was like, film, because that's where I grew up. You know, that's where I started my journey. But then I also like theatre. But then, then I thought like, but no, theatre, because that's where I'm allowed to, you know, really express myself and really talk about the things I want to talk about and play the characters I want to play. And, you know, because I do a lot of device theatre. I don't do scripted work so much.
Could you explain device theatre?
Okay, so device theatre is theatre that kind of is devised by not just the director, it's devised with the whole ensemble cast, and like even the stage manager can say something, you know, even the lighting manager, like everybody, it's very, everybody works together to create a show. And sometimes it can be based off of scripts, or it can basically like have any starting point.
Okay.
So that's device theatre. Tell me I'm wrong. But because, you know, I don't want to say that device theatre is unscripted theatre, because it's not true. Some people use scripts to devise theatre.
Yeah.
It's just maybe they're using the script a different way. But I think it's like device theatre, there's a bit more like teamwork, camaraderie. You know, like there's a bit, everybody's add something to the mix.
Is it just experimental? It's not, right?
No, like some people make like full on, what do you call it? Like a whole storyline with device theatre. But it's always a collaboration between the director and the actors. But it's always, most of the time, device theatre is based off of real or lived experiences. This is my observation. It's based off of like the people punya lived or real experiences.
So you're kind of like in the middle of...
Yeah, I'm in the middle, because it's both like home, you know, it's like, and I'm very someone about balance. Like if I was just film, I would be really weirded out. And if I was just theatre, I'd be really weirded out.
The idea of extremism of a space is like weird, right?
Like the idea of like loving one thing too much is weird to me. Like, it's just, so I want to love everything, you know, but not everything. Like I don't love football, you know, but like to do film and to, but I can say that film is a medium I love, is home to me when I am what do you call it? It's like film is more for me if I want to direct. Theatre is more for me if I want to act.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but as an actor, it's like both can. It's just I tend to like acting theatre more. But home, that's hard to jawab lah. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that was it. Yeah.
I hope I didn't like ramble too much.
No, you rambled enough for me to like work with stuff.
Okay, cool. Because I'm just like...
Okay, right. Thank you so much, Leysha, for being here. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for layaning my tiny little podcast.
No,
God knows where it'll take me, but thank you, Chandana.
Yeah, thank you, Chandana.
Thank you. What's up?
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
Thank you. Okay, cut.
Thank you for tuning in to The Actor's Journey. This episode was made possible by Chandana, Panjana, and My Creative Ventures.